Hello guys and welcome to episode 7 of your beginner's guide to Factorio. I've been noticing in the last few videos, I've watched them back, and we've been taking things extremely slow. So I want to try and speed up the process a little bit. But in order to do that, what I'm going to need from you guys is to tell me if I'm ever going a little bit too fast for you or not. But we're still going to try and keep things on track, doing what we're doing with this playthrough / guide. Today we're going to be talking about how to get all your resources into smelting. And when I say smelting, yes, this is a form of smelting. But what we want to do is we want to make it all basically seamless, so it works without you ever having to touch it, really. The only time you'd ever have to touch it is to expand it. And now going forward, we always think about how we can expand items in Factorio. Factorio in itself is a game where you'll always want to expand on what you have. In order to progress the next set of systems or whatever you're doing. So this is where we're going to need a lot of these. If I didn't mention this button before, if you click this and drag it over a certain amount of squares, it means that these squares are redundant. You can't use them within this chest. So if I was to take this out, it would only ever fill this one up. Like these two squares here are the maximum it'll ever fill up, so it'll only ever hold 100. So to get this going, I'm going to put this in a blueprint for you. You're going to need underground belts, a lot of claws. When I say claws, I mean inserters. I do apologize. And this is a generic blueprint kind of thing that I've always worked with, and I'm just going to lay it out and then explain to you how it works, because it's not difficult to get your head around once you've understood the concept of the splitters and the undergrounds. And if you haven't, I will drop a link. There'll be a little link in the top corner on how to do that in the last video. So what this is going to be is your basic this is going to be your one-stop shop basic, like grab this out the handy book I'm going to be giving you. If you don't know how to use blueprints, also please check the video before this. This will be to get your base up and going, so you've got constant steel, constant copper running. And I'm going to speed just this little build up because you don't want to sit and watch me do this, but I'll explain it all afterwards. I'll explain it all. As you can see, everyone makes mistakes. And this can be used for any raw resource that needs to be put into basically a smelting process. And yes, that can be upgraded as well to give you even more.
So. Keep it nice and neat. There you go. Take all this.
Right, I'm just going to reorganize these so that they filter better onto a line. Because this is also a personal tip. Mining is you want to mine as much of the resources as you can, so you always want to try and get them lined up like that. We haven't really got any that shows you how I do make a few of these. I'll show you exactly how I do the miners with the bases, the power lines like this. Like that. Now, as you can see, the power line only ever covers 4. So you can't get up to cover all of them. What if I do? It sits across the yellow arrow there, which stops the materials coming out of the 2 miners here. So you have to put it off the points of the arrow. So if you do 4 there, and then you bring it out as much as you can to do the 4 there, and you lay the track down in order to get the iron to go, the coal to go up, you'll notice that it can't go past that. So what you do is you just get an underground belt and you just dump it in there. And what you can have is a continuous flow of loads of miners, and you can cover every patch with miners. So you can do the same for the copper, you can do the same for the stone, you can do the same for the iron. So it's a useful tip to try. Let me just pick up these up. So let me just pop one of them down. Okay, so now we have our coal. What I'm going to do is explain to you how this works. We're going to need another underground. Okay, so this system works. I'm going to blueprint this for you, put it in a book. If you don't know how to use blueprints, again, look at the video that's previous to this, episode 6. And then I'll explain how this works. There we go. So, what's going to happen is the coal, we'll explain the coal first, because the coal will show you how it works. The coal's going to go into this underground here, which bypasses this belt, so it comes out on this one. And the next thing it does is hit a splitter. So the coal is split between these. So half of it is going to hit this underground and come out over here, and then there's another underground taking it out. The other half is going to take it on the belt and put it on the inside of that lane. Okay? And then this splitter is obviously splitting it across both lanes. This is why you put like these going in different directions, like so. And then what you do, so if I do this, you'll see it go through. It'll go under that underground, split on that, and then it'll just drop onto each side, and then it will come out this side. So whatever's left from not needing to be in this system will come out. And the reason this is so good will be because you can just put them next to each other constantly. And the coal feed, you don't need to add another coal feed. It's got a coal feed. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our iron ore that's just chilling over here. We need some more belts. We haven't got any belts. Let's make some. So our iron ore, which needs smelting, we need to get onto the other side of this belt. On the outside, so that all of the items are going up. So you got one on the outside, one on the inside. The coal is staying on the inside, and you want your raw, like ore, to be on the outside. So what we do is we put a splitter exactly the same, like this. So if you imagine you've put two belts back to back like that, and you put a splitter there, what would normally happen is they'll split off from each other, because you're sending up an item and you're telling it to go in two different directions. So if you just turn another split around, you've got conjoining belts, much like you'd have if you put a line that way and then you put another belt coming and hitting it, it would just think it's a directional. If you put one underneath it, it goes in that direction. All items go in that direction, sticking to their own sides. If anybody has any more questions based on that, please do let me know. So what happens here, basically, the iron goes in there and stays on the outside. So when this is powered up and working, these inserters will insert, like you got one for each. This will insert into here, the coal and the iron ore. And then obviously it will give you iron plates coming out here. And you're doing exactly the same on the other side, because of the inserters, when they take out from the furnaces, will always put it onto the far side. So if I just link this up with some power, like so, you'll see how it works. There you go. And then you can just take this up. You can keep adding to this, because as you can see, this is full up. So as this gets full up and stays full up, you can just keep adding to it. I wouldn't go any more than 14 furnaces high on each side, is my recommendation. But what I will show you, I'll just take the blueprint. Now this button here is how I make my blueprints. It's accessible, and you can click this button down here, or just click Alt B. If I copy this, I don't think I'm going to need all of that, so I'm going to take some things out. I'm not going to need this, any of that. Missed one thing out. I missed the, there's an underground, hang on. Let me just take another blueprint. Let me just take the blueprint. I'm going to put this in the book for you so you don't have to touch any of this. This will already be done for you. Okay, so I will rename this and put it in the book and give you the code in the description, how that works. So we create another blueprint just to show you how we can use it multiple times. The coal that is here, where my person is standing, so this coal feed that is still coming out, you can connect another underground coal feed directly to it. So you end up with an exact same furnace system, that will feed the coal like it did on the first one. Like so. There you go. And then what you do is you can put, you can either do this one for copper. So you'd have one for copper. Obviously one for copper, one for iron. What I would recommend is having two for iron, two for copper. And then once you've done the iron, also do one for steel. Is what I'd recommend you do. Because obviously you're going to need to research We're not actually researching anything at the moment, but you're going to need to research steel. Which I'm going to put steel on to be researched. I'm also going to put the green to be researched because we want to start progressing into other areas. Because this is one passive mode, we shouldn't need to touch the turrets and things at the moment. But we're going to do them things. We're also going to do our, we're actually going to do our optics first because I want to be able to build lights. Lights are optional, you don't have to build them in the game. The game is perfectly light enough as it is when you play it. While watching it, it might look a bit different. But as you can see, this has quite a lot of plays. Now, I want to show you how to build a bus system. So it's the most effective way to play the game. Now, I'm not going to get into the complexities of how you should build your bus, but the like architecture of how the bus works will help you a lot, keeping yourself organized and planned. We won't go into too much detail and overdo it, but in the next video I will show you how to create your smelters, keep them going, and then start automating your entire base, which will basically start you in a factory, and then it's all a case of keep leveling up, building the items, leveling up, building the items. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please give the video a thumbs up and a subscription if you haven't already. If you're not part of our Discord, please do join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. As well as my Twitter, please do add me on Twitter. Any questions, feel free to ask. Tell all your friends about the series if you want. We do have a goal of trying to get to 1,000 subscribers at the moment. Very ambitious, I think. But if you're enjoying the series, thank you so much for sticking by and watching. I'll catch you next time, guys. Stay safe.